Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review, so if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. A lot went down in this episode, so let's just get right into this review. So at the very beginning of this episode, Flo has to deal with the aftermath of all the drama that went down in the previous episode at her event. Because during Flo's event, Marlon ended up taking the microphone and showing everybody a picture of him laying in bed next to Flo, and he basically told everybody that they had been sleeping together. Now, the worst part about it is that Flo's mother was standing right next to Marlon, and she's the one who got on the microphone and said that they've been sleeping together, and that's really messed up for Flo's mother to do that to her. Even if Flo was sleeping with Marlon, I don't think that it's right for her mother to go around telling everybody about it because she wants her daughter to be with Marlon so bad. I just don't think that that's right that Flo's family always goes against her. So in this episode, Flo ended up changing the locks on her house so that Marlon could not get in, and he's banging on the door and she ends up letting him in, and she starts questioning him as to why he told everybody that they've been sleeping together. Now, Marlon said that it's true that they have been sleeping together, and so he doesn't understand why Flo's mad at him telling the truth, and she does end up admitting during this conversation between her and Marlon that she did sleep with him one time, and look, I feel like she slept with him more than one time, but because I wasn't there, I'm gonna take her word for it. I think that it's a messy situation in the first place, and to be honest with you, I don't think she really wants to divorce Marlon, because if she really wanted to divorce him, then why did she let him move back into her home, and why did she decide to sleep with him? Now, she was trying to say that he caught her at a very vulnerable moment, but to me, she slept with him because she wanted to, not because she was feeling vulnerable. And she also lied to Claudia in the previous episode when Claudia ended up asking her if it was true that she slept with Marlon. She said that she did not, and now she has to deal with the fact that she has to tell Claudia that she did actually sleep with Marlon, and I don't think that's going to go very well because I think Claudia is going to end the relationship. And to make matters worse, not only did everybody find out that Flo has been sleeping with Marlon while she's still with Claudia, but everybody also found out due to Hot Topic getting her cousin to show up to the event that Flo is actually broke and that she can't afford to pay the rent for her business. And so that's a really messy situation, and now all her business is out there. And I honestly have a hard time feeling bad for Flo right now because she decided to burn all these bridges with people and cross everybody because she decided to allow her messy sister Gael to come to all these people's events and stir up a bunch of drama, and Gael had nothing to lose. And I honestly feel like the reason why Gael showed up to all these events and started a bunch of trouble is because she wanted all these people to have an issue with Flo and for them to not want to work with her because they feel like she's problematic. And you know, Gael doesn't have anything to lose because everybody knows that she's messy, but Flo has everything to lose, and so I don't understand why she allowed her sister to suck her into all this drama because now nobody wants to mess with her, and now on top of that, she's losing her relationship with Claudia, and everybody knows that she can't afford to pay the bills for her business. Now, even though Trick was not happy about his son wanting to break into the music business because he really wants him to finish college, he decided that he was going to help his son pursue music anyway, and I think it's okay for Trick to help his son pursue music. I think that it's good for him to do that for his son, but at the same time, I can understand why he wants his son to finish college first. Now, his son did say that he's going to finish college regardless of doing music, and I hope he's really serious about that because if music does not work out for him, he's going to need something to fall back on. And because Trick and Trina are the ones who are responsible for planning the 50 years of hip-hop celebration in Miami, he decides that he wants his son to perform at this event. Now, he wants everything to be perfect, and he hopes that Trina is on board, but based on what happened between Trina and Trick throughout this episode, I don't know if the celebration is going to happen. So Eliza ends up meeting up with Safaree in this episode, and she lets him know that she actually ended up telling Bobby and Miami Tip in the previous episode that her and Safaree have been messing around with each other, and obviously Safaree is not happy about that. Now look, I can understand that Safaree wants to keep things private, and he said that the reason why he wants to keep things private with Eliza is because he doesn't want the same thing to happen that happened between him and Amara, because he feels like the two of them going public is the reason why their relationship didn't work out. Now, I don't believe that them going public is why their relationship didn't work out. I think it didn't work out because, number one, Amara knew that he had a really bad reputation, and so she did not trust him, and she kind of was embarrassed to be seen as his girlfriend. And then on top of that, Safaree doesn't want to be in a relationship. He wants to be single, and so I think that that's the reason why things didn't work out between the two of them. And I feel like he's using that as an excuse to not go public with Eliza, even though the reason why he doesn't want to go public with Eliza is because he's not serious about Eliza, and and he's probably messing around with somebody else as well, and so that's the reason why he doesn't want people to know that the two of them are together. But look, Eliza did end up telling Safaree that in the previous episode at Flo's event, her and Amara did end up making up and agreed that they were going to work on their friendship, but I don't understand how their friendship is going to work out, because once Amara finds out that Eliza went behind her back and is messing around with Safaree, I don't think there's going to be any coming around after that. So because the 50 years of hip hop in Miami celebration is coming up and Trick and Trina are the ones who are supposed to plan it, Trick decided to put together a last minute meeting with his team and Trina and her team, but Trina is very late, and Trina said that the reason why she's running late is because Trick decided to put together this meeting at the very last minute. And look, I understand where Trina is coming from, but she also has to be very respectful of other people's time, because in this episode she was really late multiple times when Trick put together these meetings, and because his son is supposed to be performing at this celebration, he wants to make sure that everything is perfect. Now, before Trina ended up showing up, Trick ended up leaving because he was annoyed at the fact that she was really late. But before he left, he ended up telling his team to let Trina know that when she shows up, that he wants it to be an adult prom themed celebration. And look, Trina does end up showing up, but Trick was not there, and she was not feeling any of his ideas. And so I don't know what's going to happen with this whole celebration. I don't know if it's all going to come together, but I feel like Trick and Trina are going to end up falling out over this situation because number one, they're not on the same page, and number two, Trina keeps being very, very late to all these meetings. So ever since Shay ended up having surgery because she ended up losing the baby, Fable has been in Miami with Shay, helping her out with their daughter and making sure that everything's okay, because obviously Shay had surgery very recently, and I think that it's good that he's there helping her, but he was really upset with her in this episode because she didn't let him know what was going on sooner. Now, she said the reason why she didn't let him know what was going on with the baby sooner is because he was in Wisconsin and not with her. They were not together and they were not on good terms at the time. But I still feel like she should have let him know what was going on, because at the end of the day, that is his baby too. But I can understand where she's coming from because they really weren't in a good place. Now, because of all the drama between Shay's mother and Fabo in the previous episode, Shay ends up letting Fabo know that she does not like the way that he speaks to her mother, and I don't like the way he speaks to her mom either. Now, her mom does need to mind her business a little bit, but I don't feel like he should be swearing and raising his voice at her mother. I just don't think that that's right, and I feel like if he does that to Shay's mother, then he probably does that to Shay behind closed doors as well. Now, she does end up telling Fabo that she doesn't like that he has a lot of bad things to say about her family, even though her family helps out and actually spends time with their daughter. She said that his family has nothing to do with their daughter, but he claims that the reason for this is because Shay won't let him bring their daughter to Wisconsin, and she said that the reason why she won't let him do that is because he was cheating on her with women in Wisconsin. And look, I understand where Shay is coming from, but she can actually go to Wisconsin too if she wants the baby to spend time with his family. But I do feel like it's not really Shay's job to make sure that his family is involved with their daughter. I feel like they're the ones that need to put in the effort. And look, Fabo did not deny cheating on Shay, and I feel like she's going to stay with him anyway, and so if she's going to still stay with him and give him a chance, then I don't understand why she's even calling out his cheating. Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. If you're going to stay with them even though they cheat on you, then they're only going to continue to keep on doing it because they know that you're going to forgive them afterwards. Now, Ray J and Marcus Black are back in Miami right now, and they decide to meet up with Safaree to catch up, and basically, Ray J starts ordering a bunch of alcohol for everybody at the table, and Marcus says that he doesn't want any alcohol, he wants a sparkling water because he has not drank any alcohol in 3 years. And look, I respect the fact that he was able to stop drinking for 3 years, because I know it's hard for a lot of people not to drink, especially when you're used to doing it so often, and then on top of that, when you're involved in these really big social circles, a lot of people are drinking and it's hard to not do it too. But I think that it was good that he was able to resist the urge to drink, because, you know, Ray J was sitting there ordering a bunch of bottles of liquor and he decided that he didn't want any. He was opening up to Ray J and Safaree about how he changed his life around because he was doing a lot of drinking and partying and cheating on Brooke Valentine, and he decided to change his life around for his kids and his wife. He said that he went to therapy on his own, which I recommend that people do. I think that it's good that he opened up about going to therapy, because a lot of people don't want to go to therapy, especially men. They really don't want to do that. I don't know if they feel comfortable enough to open up like that, and it takes a lot to go to therapy because you really do have to be open to the process. And so I think that it's good that he decided to go. But when he started talking about how he's a life coach and a relationship coach, I had to roll my eyes a little bit because I don't understand why all these men think that they should be out here giving relationship advice when they've barely been good to any woman that they've been with. I don't like when these men get on these podcasts and on these microphones and they start talking about relationships and giving all types of advice. To me, it's kind of annoying. But because I haven't seen any videos of Marcus doing this myself, I can't really judge what he's doing. Now, Safaree did say that he's happily single, which I think he should stay single, and Marcus told him that he should stay single too until he's ready to actually change, because until he changes, he's going to keep attracting the same type of women, and then on top of that, the relationships are not going to work out, and to me, that was really good advice. But Safaree does end up telling both Marcus and Ray J that he's been messing around with Eliza, and look, I don't feel like Ray J was the right person to tell, because Safaree was going on and on to Eliza in this episode about how he wanted to keep their relationship private, but yet he goes and tells big mouth Ray J. Ray J cannot hold water. He tells everybody's business. So it's just a matter of time before everybody finds out that Safaree and Eliza have been messing around with each other. He was worried about Miami Tip and Bobby going around telling people that they've been messing around, but since he told Ray J, everybody's about to find out. Now, Flo ends up deciding to go meet with Claudia at Claudia's house because she wants to explain herself, and Claudia really does not want to let Flo in, but because she doesn't want her neighbors hearing all her business, she decides to let Flo into her home anyway. And Flo starts telling Claudia that she only slept with Marlon one time because she was really vulnerable and that it never happened again after that, but Claudia doesn't seem to believe anything that Flo's saying, and look, I don't believe what Flo is saying either. I think she slept with him more than one time. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel. If she knew that she was going to be tempted to sleep with him and she knew she was in a relationship with Claudia, she shouldn't have allowed him to move back into her home. Now, Claudia starts telling Flo that she feels like Flo used her in order to make Marlon jealous and to get back at him for cheating on her with her sister and a bunch of other women. And Flo denies this, but I honestly feel like Claudia might be onto something because everybody was trying to warn Flo about Claudia, but we didn't see Claudia cheat on Flo and we haven't heard that she cheated on Flo or did anything to Flo. So maybe Claudia wasn't the one clout chasing. Maybe Flo was the one being really messy in this situation and it wasn't Claudia. And Claudia ends up letting Flo know that she met with Hot Topic, who she knows that Flo has problems with, and told her about how she lent Flo $10K to pay her rent and her bills for her business. And obviously Flo was really upset about it. And look, I understand that Claudia was wrong for doing this, but she was being petty because she was pissed off at the fact that she found out that Flo has been cheating on her with her ex-husband. And so obviously she's going to be petty and meet up with somebody that Flo doesn't get along with. And look, I don't feel like you should do the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But at the end of the day, Flo was being really messy in this situation too, and so I don't really feel bad for her. Now, I forgot to mention that when Amara ended up meeting up with Brooke Valentine and Princess Love earlier in this episode, she told them that she's been working on a music project with somebody, but she didn't want to reveal who it was yet. And I assumed that it was Safaree because obviously the show has to be a little bit messy. And at the very end of this episode, Amara ends up revealing that it is Safaree who she's working on music with. And look, it's going to be a really messy situation between her and Eliza because number one, she doesn't know that Eliza is messing around with Safaree, and Safaree is not letting Amara know about it either, and so things are going to get really ugly in this situation. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.